Hi, I'm Chef Pedro, and this is PastryStar. Today I'm going to show you how to use our flourless cake base to make a raspberry layered chocolate cake, and then we're going to work on plating it with a few other PastryStar products. We'll be filling it with our raspberry jam. It comes in 10, 20, or 50-pound pail, and this particular type has no seeds. Our chocolate miroir glaze comes in 10-pound pails. It's a really easy to use product that's very versatile. It can be used at room temperature or a little bit warmer to have a thinner application. For decorating, we're going to be using the Florentine base. It's as easy as sprinkling onto a silpat or parchment paper and baking it in the oven to have some crispy caramel crackers with a nice honey flavor. Finally, our raspberry coulis is a very high quality product with 80% fruit. It comes in these aseptic pouches and can be used directly out of the pouch to decorate your plates. So first off, we're going to bake off our flourless cake. I'm preheating the oven right now, as I'm going to be using a sheet tray to bake it off. The oven is at 400. So we have 1 pound chocolate flourless cake base, 10 ounces of whole egg, and 8 ounces of heavy cream. Everything's going into the KitchenAid at once. I am going to give this a quick whisk just to make sure it comes together and gets right off the sides while we're mixing it. Now we'll be using the paddle attachment of your KitchenAid. Start slow, but we're going full speed ahead for 8 minutes. Okay, 8 minutes are up. I'm gonna go ahead and put most of this in the sheet tray. It's all on the tray. Just gonna go ahead and flatten it out. I did end up taking a little bit of the extra batter out so that my sheet tray would be about halfway filled. Any more than that, and it's just gonna be a little bit too thick to have 3 layers. I'm gonna let this set 15 minutes at room temperature, and then we're gonna go ahead and bake it off. Since we have to give the flourless cake about 15 minutes before going in the oven, I'm going to take advantage that the oven is hot, and I'm going to bake off some of these caramel tuiles. This should only take a few minutes, so it's a good time to do it now. All you want to do is sprinkle lightly on a silpat or a parchment paper a little bit of powder. So do it from high up, and as soon as you can't see through the powder anymore, that should be a good amount. That's it. Couple minutes in the oven. Do keep a close eye on it, because as soon as it starts to get golden brown, you want to pull it out and just let it finish baking off on the tray. We pulled this out when it started to turn a very light golden brown. That was just enough time to let our flourless cake rest, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven. 400 degrees, about 10 minutes. Okay, we baked the flourless cake. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it onto a cutting board so that we can trim the cake. We want 3 equal-sized pieces. Otherwise, you can just bake off 3 sheet trays and go straight from there. So to make this simple, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to go ahead and measure 15 inches this way, so 3 pieces, 5 inches across each way. All right, I'm going to just do 2 layers, so I'll be spreading raspberry jam on 2 of these pieces and then stacking them all up. As you can see, our edges aren't quite lining up. That's not a big deal. We'll just push them together a tiny bit and we'll give it one last trim. I did use our jam at room temperature. It's quite spreadable that way, but I did go ahead and warm up the chocolate miroir just slightly above room temperature so that it'll create just a thin layer on the top of the cake. So we're going to transfer the cake to a wire rack. Again, being very careful. Just gonna pour over some chocolate glaze and we'll spread it. Okay, we did cover the whole cake with chocolate glaze. I made sure to keep just a thin layer on top, but there's glaze on either side of the cake, and when we cut our slices, there will be 2 sides with glaze and 2 sides where you can see the actual layers. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer for a few minutes. It'll be easier to work with when it's a bit frozen, and it'll give us cleaner slices. I'm getting together a few of our ingredients for plating. I've got raspberries, and as you can see, the tuile here looks really great. It's very thin, delicate. It's beautiful to work with. I've got our cake. I'm gonna go ahead and take off one end piece. If you've got a hot rag to clean your knife before every slice, that's ideal. Now the fun part, where every drop counts. Get a few raspberries down. And finally, our little tuiles. I really like to balance different size, different shapes, make it all a little bit abstract. There you have it, it's as simple as that. That's how we make a raspberry layered cake with our flourless cake base, raspberry jam, florentine base, and our raspberry coulis to finish it off. For more information or for more recipes, please visit us at PastryStar.com. I'm Chef Pedro. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, with PastryStar, it's a piece of cake.